Rabash says here that the Creator made the concealment so that we won't be able to see it, so there will be room for choice and place for faith to believe that the Creator fulfills and encompasses everything. What is this work, to believe that the Creator does it?
We have to reach a state where we acquire the force of faith that enables us to see the Creator, to feel the Creator, to discover Him as none else besides Him and the good that does good. And faith means that by force of bestowal, which brings us the light that reforms, we begin to see the actions of the Creator and to see how the opposites are interconnected and sustain each other. By that, we accept faith above reason, which means that we acquire the correct attitude, the correct relation called faith. There's incomplete faith and there is complete faith. Incomplete faith is bestowing in order to bestow, and complete faith is receiving in order to bestow. And it's a new perception of reality that is beyond our animate level, on the speaking level. And there, specifically, the opposites come together and sustain each other, complement each other into one. And that's how we determine there's none else besides Him. But that's after we each time receive in spiritual degrees the ability to be above reason, meaning above our mind and heart, which see opposite discernments in creation. How can we see those discernments not as opposite, but as supportive and connecting and mutually complementing each other? In our view, only when the light that reforms comes and brings us this view, this observation. Before the light comes and gives us a new observation, a new perception, before it installs that new view on the world within us, on everything we understand and feel, before that we cannot see the corrected world. The whole correction happens by the light that reforms, that comes according to our prayer, our request. If we do all that we can in order to draw the light that reforms, it happens. What does that mean? That we do this? We make all the actions for it to work. So we have to connect as one man and one heart to make this so-called request. And if the light works, we'll receive a new software. This upgrade of the software each time. That's the new degree. Okay? Yes. You.
Rav, the disturbances that we feel, we see that they're actually against the connection. Whatever we do, it's against our connection. Would it be true to say that the work in none else besides Him is simply to rise above that obstruction?
To rise above the disturbance doesn't mean that you just throw away the separation and that's it. To rise above the disturbance means that specifically through the separation, you have to build the connection. It's not to leave it alone, like I hear in your words. You have to embrace all that separation and convert it to connection. Otherwise, it won't happen. And we don't even want to discover the detachment, the oppositeness. We don't delve into it. We don't pay attention. to how the higher providence shows us that we're distant from each other, but we don't care. If you don't see that you're opposite to your friend, you're not discovering the true state. Why don't you discover it? Because you're not drawn to connect with him in all the different forms of operation that you have to try to connect more and more and more in action, in thought, in everything you can, until you discover that it doesn't work so bad that you start crying if it hurts you that bad that you ask for correction. But if you're not drawn to that, then you're not discovering the brokenness. That's why we're standing and waiting. But there's nothing to wait for. You're not going to be given any revelation from above. You have to discover all of it from below.
Meaning that the disturbances, from what I understand from what you said, that the disturbances aren't yet those disturbances that you're talking about. There is the next phase beyond the physical disturbances that I feel.
We ourselves have to discover the disturbances through our own urge and pressure for connection, for correction. That's where we'll find the disturbances. The more we try to climb the king's mountain, the mountain to the king's palace, the guards will throw us backwards, and then we start climbing again and again. We have to awaken those areas that are opposite to adhesion.
And in the state that I am in right now, I just have to throw myself into the 10.
I don't know what it is. You're using such words that I can't stand behind them. What do you mean by that?
To connect to the 10, come to the lessons.
To forcefully make all the actions.
Everything that we're doing.
Yes.
We have enough things to do during the day.
No, actions you may have enough, even more than enough. The question is the quality of the action. Maybe you need to do 10 times less actions that you're already doing. Rather, it's more about being in it with your heart, with your intention. I'm not talking about the amount of physical actions. Perhaps you're not even doing anything. The scrutiny is all in thought, not your hands and legs.
How do I upgrade the action?
That's your work with the group. In the meantime, if you're all not concerned about the Arvud, there's nothing to talk about.